Sailing a small boat, especially a C&C 24, is easier than sailing most bigger boats. But with a small boat, you have to react more quickly. It takes only a couple of seconds for her to heal, versus a bigger boat that might heal more slowly. interesting the way this boat has been made. It's got 2 layers everywhere. The deck, which is solid fiberglass, and then an inner layer of plastic instead of, you know, traditionally being wood, but a lot of condensation in between the 2 layers. So we currently have a wind vane that we picked up used, but it's way too big and heavy for our size of boat. So we're going to do the next best thing we can think of, and that is to build a new one from scratch.
So in this particular, sorry, mosquitoes are getting bad.
Yeah, they're big.
In this particular model, you have your vane, which is a piece of plywood that is set on a circular piece of wood with a notch in it, where a rope passes and is tied around it, which goes down to pulleys and then is connected to your tillers. So when the wind comes from one way, it pushes the whole axis, pulling the rope and your tiller, therefore, and you have what's called a swivel bottom, which is another rope, which you can turn the whole top piece towards the wind, to the direction directed towards the wind. Yeah.
So controlling when you crank this a little to the left or a little to the right, you're controlling where the vane is pointing. Okay.
According to the wind, you can turn the whole thing.
Okay.
And for us, the thing to make sure is that it has a pendulum, a counterweight, and you have to make sure that the rail of the boat doesn't interfere with the countervane. You set your boat to the direction you want to go, and you set your sails right. Then you orientate the whole top of the wind vane, which can be turned around with another rope. You orientate it towards the wind, so it stays straight by itself. If the boat starts changing direction, the wind will be more apparent in one side of the vane, pushing it sideways, and that sideways force is converted to a series of pulleys and levers. It's converted into pull onto your tiller, and it's very simple as that. When the boat goes back towards the original destination, it comes back straight up, and then it keeps fighting itself, just going back and forth. And the beauty about it is that your boat will always maintain the same angle to the wind that you put your wind vane to.
Yeah.
So if the wind changes suddenly, you're not going to change direction suddenly. You're going to change direction towards the wind. It's not going to like, oh, the wind just came out of nowhere from behind. You know, it stops the boat from doing weird maneuvers under sail. It should handle well. I was interested to see how hard it pulls in heavy weather the other day, and not much force. It should take it very well. It gives you, it's completely free of charge on the batteries. Once it's built, it lasts forever almost. If you build it properly. If you don't lose it in the storm, you've ripped off your back of your boat. That happens. I'm thinking how I'm going to put it. How far back and how high I have to put it so it doesn't interrupt this one.
Yeah.
So it have to be more or less there. So a bit more back. The posts are going to come from each side. And meet here, and then there's a platform, and this is going to have to go out of the way.
Or if we still manage to split this backstay into 2, it would have enough room, definitely.
You just have to make sure it's not too close to this part. Imagine this as the surface of your wind vane. It's on a surface.
Oh, it's on there. Okay.
It's basically, it's like literally there.
So we would have it that high up.
Yeah, it'll be more or less here. Plus the whole structure, the weight would come about here. You know, a piece of wood will come just about there.
cutting some straps, cutting some seatbelt webbing. Keep our tanks from flying out when we're heeled over too much. It's sucking out.
Mm-hmm.
It's going
The bottle.
It's almost full. And if that goes into your engine, then what?
And that clogs. That's where you get engines that don't start.
Did it break or did it just
No,
slip out?
it's snapped. I guess I don't have any more reels.
You do have reels. What are all the reels in the boat there?
There was even smaller. This one broke. It was starting. It was a few days. It was getting weaker and weaker. I could feel it coming. Oh, rice. I'm putting too much rice in there.
It's okay. We're gonna run out of wraps before we run out of rice, I think.
Giant blob of fish.